Hello, in this video I will go over how to connect Google Sheets to the Studio. The first thing to do is to create an API key. Right here on the right hand side, you'll find some directions on how to reuse one or create an API key. In this video I will show you how to create a new one. Under the section where it tells you create a new API key, click on the embedded link where it says API Services Credentials. This will direct you to a different page if you are already logged in into a Gmail account. However, if not, sign in before following along. Once you're on the API Services Credential page, first you want to create a new project, and you can do so by either clicking on the Select the Project button on the top left hand side, or you can click on the right hand side on Create Project. From there, make sure to give your project a name and hit Create. Now once that you have created it, make sure that the project is selected before you do the next steps, and you can do so by checking over here on the top left corner and finding your project name. Now within the APIs and Services section, click on the Credentials button and then click on the Create Credentials and click on the API Key button, which would be the first option listed. Clicking on this will automatically create an API key for you. Copy this API key and go back to the Studio. Make sure to paste this into the text box. Now before hitting next, go back to the APIs and Services section and make sure to click out of the API key box. Now within the APIs and Services section, go over and click on the library. And within this page, make sure to go over to the Google Workspace section and click on the Google Sheets API and hit the Enable button. The API should be enabled now for Sheets. If you go back to the Studio website and click on Next, you will see directions on how to prepare your Google Sheets to connect it. Therefore, make sure to go back to a Google Sheets that you would like to use within the Studio and go over here on the section where it says Files and go down to Share and go to Publish to Web. You'll find some other directions on how to do this, but just click on the Publish button and exit out of this. And now go over to the right hand side on the top and click on the Share button and change General Access to everyone with the link. And make sure to copy this link before hitting done. Now go back to the Studio and click Next, and you can paste your sheet URL here. And click Finish. Here the Studio should tell you whether you have successfully linked your Google Sheets to the Studio. You will also be given option of clicking the automatic refresh. If you select this option, any changes you make in Sheets will automatically be reflected in the video. Now there's a few things to note here. If your data does not translate to the chart in the Chart tab, make sure that your data is formatted correctly in the Sheets tab. Make sure that the X and Y values is in the first few boxes of the first row respectively. Another thing is you need to stay on the Google Sheets option rather than the table option to be able to work with your data. Otherwise, your data will disappear, or any data listed on the table option will show up instead of your Google Sheets data. If changes aren't being made into your chart, it may be because you have a large data set. So try switching between the Data and the Chart tab to see the changes reflected. The first thing to note is to make sure to not reload the page. It will disconnect your Google Sheets from the Studio. It is recommended that you select the automatic refresh option if you want to see changes reflected in your chart. Lastly, remember that you can have only one X value but more than one Y value set of data. That's just how the chart is designed. So I hope this video helps. If you come across any issues or would like to provide some feedback, you can click on the back button here on the top left corner, and it will redirect you back to the main page. And you can scroll down to the feedback section, and here you will find our email, accessibility@highsoft.com, to email us, or you can click on the Highcharts Sonification Studio feedback direct to post on the public support forum with any comments or messages that you might have for us. Thank you so much for watching, and happy editing.